Testing. Testing. We're going to look at the Chapter 3, Summary and Review. It begins on page 203. And our first question, find the least common multiple of 52 and 78. Now remember, with our summary and reviews, there's the first column, kind of the center divider, and then our practice exercise. The left column works through a sample very similar to the one you're asked to do. So find the least common multiple of 52 and 78. You have a sample in your left-hand column. Looking for the least common multiple of 52 and 78. So we'll build our table. And we'll try to use our prime factorization. And 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 13 is 52. And 78, 2 times 3 times 13 is 78. And you can check using your factor tree to arrive at your unique prime factorization for each of these numbers. Now remember, however many columns we have, the first column, we need all these factors because none have been represented yet. Go to your next column. We have a factor of 2 already. We don't have a factor of 3. We do have a factor of 13. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 13 times 3 is 39, I believe. And 4 times 39 is 156. So our least common multiple is 156. Next, we're asked to add 19/60ths plus 11/36. And again, our sample is worked out for us on our left-hand column. So we're adding 19/60ths plus 11/36. And to add or subtract, have to think about the piece of pie. We're going to need a least common denominator. So again, we'll build our table, 60, 36, and our least common denominator. We're looking for a number that both 60 and 36 go into evenly. And build your factor tree if necessary to arrive at the unique prime factorization for 60 and the prime factorization for 36. No matter how many columns you have, we will need all the factors from the first column because none are represented in our least common denominator column. Next column, I do have a factor of 2. I actually have 2 factors of 2. I have a factor of 3, but I need another factor of 3. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 3, 180. So our common denominator is 180. So I want to convert 19/60ths to 180. So 180 divided by 60 is 3. So 3 times 60 would be 180. I'll have to multiply the numerator by 3 plus convert 36 to 160ths. 180 divided by 36 is 5. So 36 times 5 would be 180. I'll multiply by the numerator by 108 by 5. 3 times 19 is 57. Over 180 plus 5 times 11 would be 55 over 180. I now have my common denominator, so I can add numerators all over my common denominator. 55 plus 57 is 112. Obviously, 2 goes into each of those. They're both even. 2 goes into 112, 56 times. And 2 goes into 180, 90 times. Again, that's still even. So 2 goes into 56 and 2 goes into 90. 2 goes into 56 28 times, and 2 goes into 90 45 times. So 28 45ths is my answer. All right, next. We're asked to subtract 29 35ths, subtract 5 sevenths. 29 35ths, and we're going to subtract 5 sevenths. Well, again, to add or subtract, we have to think about the piece of pie. We need a least common denominator. Well, let's see. 7 does go into 35, so I have 29 35ths, but I need to convert sevenths to its equivalency in 35ths. So 5 7. 7 times 5 would be 35. Multiply the numerator by 5. 29 35ths minus 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 5 is 35. Now I do have my common denominator, so I can subtract the numerators all over my common denominator and get 4 35ths. Next, we're asked to use our greater than or less than symbols to fill in the text box to write a true sentence. 3/13 compares to 5/12. Well, we need to compare with common denominators. And 13 times 12 is 156, so let's convert 3/13 to 156. Multiply by 12 in the numerator and the denominator. Times 13 in the numerator and the denominator. 12 times 3 is 36. And of course, 12 times 13 is our 156. 5 times 13 is 65 over 156. So now I have a common denominator. I just compare numerators. 36 is less than 65. So 36 156 is less than 65 156. Number 5, solve 2 9ths plus x equals 9 11ths. Directions are to solve 2 9ths plus x equals 9 11ths. Remember, when we're solving for a variable, our goal is to be able to isolate the variable on one side of the equal sign, to be able to say x equals in this case. And we know that if we want to get rid of this term, we can add its opposite to both sides. Adding its opposite, 2 9ths plus negative 2/9 goes to 0, and 0 plus x is x equals. So I'm getting pretty close to my goal. I just need to tidy up this side of the equation. To subtract, we need a least common denominator. 9 times 11 would be 99. So 9/11ths. 11 times 9 would be 99. I'll multiply the numerator by 9. Minus, convert 2/9. 9 times 11 would be 99. Multiply the numerator by 11. 9 times 9 is 81 over 99. Minus 2 times 11 is 22 over 99. I now have a common denominator, so I can subtract my numerators all over my common denominator. (81) subtract 22 is 59 over 99, and 59 is prime. So we have our answer at 59/99. Next, we're asked to convert 8 2/3 to fraction notation. All right, 8 2/3 is a mixed numeral, and we want to convert it to its equivalent in fractional notation. Fractional notation meaning that we have a numerator and a denominator. 8 whole pies cut into thirds would be 3 times 8. 8 whole pies are each cut into thirds. So 8 times 3 is 24, plus a little bit more would be 26 thirds. And convert 47/6 to mixed numeral. 47/6. And we want to find out how many whole portions are in 47. So 47 divided by 6 is 47 goes 6 goes into 47 7 times. 7 times 6 is 42. Subtract to find your remainder of 5. So 47/6 is 7 5/6. 47/6 is improper format, converted improper fraction format, converted to its equivalency in mixed numeral format. We're asked to subtract 10 5/7 and subtract from it 2 3/4. 10 5/7, and we're asked to subtract 2 3/4. And remember, we columnize to get our fractions in a column and our whole numbers in a column. And we're going to need to subtract fractions, but we'll need a least common denominator. So we're going to convert 10 5/7. 7 times 4 is 28, so we'll convert to 28s. And 4 times 7, multiply in the numerator by 7 as another name for 1. So I have 10, and 5 times 4 is 20, 28. I'm going to subtract 2, and 3 times 7 is 21, 28. I'm ready to subtract. I have a least common denominator, but I cannot subtract 21 from 20. So I'm going to need to borrow. And to borrow, we borrow from 10. So we borrow 1 from 10, and we'll get 28 28ths plus 20 28ths. 1 is 28 over 28 is another name for 1, so 1 plus 9 would be 10. So I have borrowed, and I'll rewrite. Now 28 plus 20 would be 9 and 48 28ths minus 2 and 21 28ths. 21 from 48 is 27 28ths, and 2 from 9 is 7. So our answer is 7 and 27 28ths. Multiply 4 and 1/5 times 3 and 7/15. 4 and 1/5 times 3 and 7/15. Well, I have mixed numerals, and I'm multiplying, and I remember that multiplication of fractions is a piece of cake, so I'm going to convert to their fractional equivalency. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 more would be 21/5. 3 times 15 is 45, plus 7 more would be 52/15. Now, multiplication of fractions is a piece of cake. 21/5 times 52/15. 21 times 52 is 1092. And 5 times 15 is 75. So 1092 divided by 75. You can use Google Calc or your calculator to determine the whole number portion. 75 goes into 1092 14 even times. And 14 times 75 is 1050. So I'll subtract to get my remainder of 42. So 75 goes into 1092 14 and 42 75ths. Remember your division rules. 3 goes into a number if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. So 6 is divisible by 3 and 12 is divisible by 3. So we have 14. 3 goes into 42 14 times, and 3 goes into 75 25 times. Number 10, the population of Louisiana is 2.5 times the population of West Virginia. The population of West Virginia is approximately 1,800,000. What is the population of Louisiana? It says the population of Louisiana is. So the population of Louisiana is, remember that equal sign, the key word is means translate to the equal sign. The population of Louisiana is 2.5 times the population of West Virginia. 2.5 would be 2.5 times West Virginia's population. And then we're told that the population of West Virginia is approximately 1,800,000. So I can substitute the population of West Virginia is 1,800,000. And solving, I have Louisiana's population is equal to 2.5 times 1,800,000. for 4,500,000. So the population of Louisiana is about 4,500,000. We're asked to simplify 3/2 times 1 1/3 divided by the quantity 2/3 squared. Three halves times 1 1/3 divided by 2/3 the quantity squared. We need to call on our order of precedence. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally to solve multiple operations. There's parentheses, but it's already 2/3. There's nothing more I can do to simplify that. So I'm going to use exponents, copying everything else down the same. 2/3 times 2/3. 2/3 times 2/3. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So this resolved 2/3 squared is 4/9. So I took care of exponents. Now we do multiplication and division from left to right. So I have multiplication first, 2/3 times 1 1/3, or 3/2 times 1 1/3. Remember, with multiplying mixed numerals, we convert to their equivalent fractional form. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 more would be 4/3. Now I can multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. And 2 times 3 is 6, divided by 4/9. Next, we have division from left to right. Division of fractions. We change division to multiplication and multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. 9 times 12 is 108. 6 times 4 is 24. And 24 goes into 108. 4 times 24 is 96. We'll subtract to get our remainder. So I have 4 and 12 24ths. And 12 goes into 24 evenly, so 4 and 1/2. Just remember, if it says to show your answer in either format, this is mixed numeral format, and 4 1/2 in true fractional form with a numerator and a denominator. There's 4 whole pies sitting there cut into halves. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 more would be 9/2. So fractional notation, mixed numeral notation. All right, please return to D2L Brightspace for all the details regarding Chapter 3, homework, assignments, tests, and their due dates. Thank you very much.